Bailey Ober had a real nice start for the Twins against Houston last night. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk against 7 strikeouts in 5 innings for Bailey Ober. Let's take a look at some highlights and then come back and talk a little bit more about him.
Up and in. Strike 3 call. Correa doesn't like it. And buzzing the outside. And he got him looking plate appearances. And 3 of them, the last 3, have been called third strikes. 3 pitches puts. Changeup got him. 5 innings complete. Ober comes off the mound.
So again, Ober pitched pretty well. Only 5 innings. He only threw 73 pitches, 52 of which were strikes. He's not going to be a guy going long. I think the Twins are going to be pretty conservative with how many innings he throws. No competitive games for him last season with there being no minor leagues. And then he's also a guy who just hasn't pitched a lot due to injuries in previous seasons. So they're going to be careful with him. But nice to see him perform well. Unfortunately, the Twins lose this game because Houston kind of piles on against the bullpen. I wrote about some of the bullpen decisions at Twins Daily. I'll put the link down in the description for that. But let's talk some more about Bailey Ober. So here we are on Ober's Baseball Savant page. I'm not going to go anywhere too in detail or too crazy with this yet, just literally on the main landing page. And, something that's really encouraging is he's not far off from league average on his four-seam fastball. He's a guy in the minor leagues who sat a lot of like 89, 90. But you can see here, he's averaging 92 miles per hour on his fastball. That's pretty encouraging. Obviously not a flamethrower by any means. And as we see here, he's got more strikeouts than innings pitched. That's always a good sign. 15 strikeouts and 13 innings pitched. That's never been a problem for him in the minor leagues, getting strikeouts. So his barrel rate is pretty well above league average. That's kind of league averages down here at the bottom. Exit velocity as well. Hard hit percentage as well. So he is getting hit pretty hard. But you can see his strikeout percentage and his walk percentage are both above average. That's strikeout percentage of 26.3, which the average is 22, and then the walk percentage of 3.5 and 8.4 is league average. So that's a sign to be confident in Ober's ability to perform. So here in the plate discipline area, one of the things I want to point out that I'd like to see him improve upon, again, this is a guy who throws strikes. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. But I'd like to see him get this edge percentage. This is the percentage of the pitches you're throwing along the edges of the strike zone, not necessarily in the zone or out of the zone, literally just along basically what we'd think of as the black on the sides and then the top and bottom of the zone. Again, you can see here he's at 38.8% so far. Again, he's only thrown 206 pitches, so keep in mind we're also looking at a pretty small sample. And league average is 42.6. So I think for him to really kind of be who he can be at the major league level, he's going to want to get this edge percentage up above league average. And then I really like these visuals here in pitch distribution because you can get a really, really easy snapshot look at how well a guy kind of breaks up his pitches. And you can see each one of these humps for the fastball, the changeup, the slider, and the curveball. Look at especially the way the changeup, slider, and curveball hit. Right at the 85, 80, and 75 marks. It's almost like he's, manipulated things to get that good separation of 5 miles per hour on each of those pitches. And then that fastball has a bigger jump. So he's giving guys a lot to kind of prepare for. He doesn't throw the curve too much. These bumps also, you can see on the left-hand side here, show the pitch percentage. So you can throw, he's throwing a lot of fastballs, not a ton of curveballs. But, that's kind of working as a good change of pace pitch because it's so much slower than everything else he throws. That even though he only breaks it out occasionally, since it has that good separation, it's interesting. And then moving off the player pages, we're going to get into a bit of a search here on Baseball Savant. I'm going to look up the average release extension for anybody with 200 or more pitches. Again, that's includes Ober. And as you can see here, he's one of the top guys. 7th at 7.2 feet on his average pitch extension. That's how far he's releasing the ball out in front of him. And that's out of a sample of 454 pitchers. So he is no surprise. That's not a shock for a guy who's 6'9", that he's in elite territory in that regard. But That is sort of the secret sauce of what helps that 92, 93 mile per hour fastball play up even more. Really, all of his pitches kind of become a bit of a different look. You know, he's got a different release point than most pitchers. He's got a different extension, so he's giving hitters something else to have to deal with than they're used to. And jumping over to Ober's FanGraphs page here, you can see he has a CSW, that's called strike plus swinging strike percent, of 30.6%. So again, called strikes plus whiffs is what CSW stands for. You could also think of it as strike percentage minus balls in play and foul balls. But it actually correlates really well to a lot of other performance metrics. So I like that number in terms of looking at a guy with a small sample size and trying to figure out, you know, is this legit? Is this a mirage? So 30.6 is where Ober's at. And for 2021, CSW average is 28.3. So Ober, nicely above average there. And still on FanGraphs, but I've got this broken up into the Twins pitching staff, minimum 10 innings. So we've got Ober included. And in that CSW metric, Ober is actually second on the team to Taylor Rogers' minimum 10 innings again. Kind of in a similar spot as Michael Pineda, who we all know has been a pretty successful pitcher all this time for the Twins, and some encouraging signs for Luke Farrell. I probably should record a video on that guy soon. But that just goes to show that there is some good stuff going on with Bailey Ober. So it was nice to see him pitch well against a good team in the Astros, get a nice number of strikeouts. This was a former 12th round draft pick from the Twins. So this has been a really good development for the Twins to get this guy to the major leagues. It shows, I think, pretty well. I've been a little tough on the front office, and I think that's absolutely fair right now to be tough on this Twins front office. But I will give him credit for protecting him, for adding him to the 40-man roster, making sure he wasn't exposed to the Rule 5 draft. Because, again, he hadn't really been all that healthy, hadn't pitched a ton. And there were some other guys in the system that they could have chosen to protect over him. Certainly, it wasn't a slam dunk that Bailey Ober was going to get added to the 40-man. And that's looking like a really good decision right now. So he's pitched well. Tip of the cap to them for making that good decision and for developing what's looking like a major league starter, a back end of the rotation guy. I don't think there's a huge upside with Ober, but you get a rotation piece out of a 12th round pick. That's an extremely good draft pick. So pretty cool to see for Bailey Ober. Nice to see. It's funny that I slipped that in because that's there was lots of Ober puns going on Twitter. But nice to see a developmental win for this team. I think we all kind of like to see that right now. And looking forward to watching him pitch more for the Twins. But thanks for checking this out. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing. This has been Tom Froming, and we'll talk again soon.